one and I stand on that. You and me, babe, that's black on black.
Say less. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to the phones. We're going to welcome in Vicky in North Carolina. She has a question. I like questions. Hi, Vicky. Welcome.
Hey, Vicky.
Hi, Professor Hunter. How are you doing?
I'm awesome. Thank
I'm
you.
a long-time listener. I love the Karen Hunter Show and Nubian Narrative. I have some questions, but I know I got to keep it brief. When Dr. Black said he got to question whether or not Mary was consensual in having Jesus, it brought me back to a conversation that I had with my 16-year-old in my Sunday school class. She said to me when we were talking about the birth of Christ,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I like this God. It don't sound like Mary consented. She had a dream. It sounded like he took advantage of her, and she was a kid. I don't know if I want to serve that God of the Bible. So that was probably the
What
first
did you
time
say? What did you say to her, Vicky? What was your response?
My response was, oh, my God. I said, you just said something. And I started going down this rabbit hole. And that was the first time because my sister's a pastor, my brother-in-law's a pastor, my uncles, all of them. My son is a pastor. And I started going down a rabbit hole, and I started discovering some things that really bothered me about the God of the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys were talking earlier about what is expected of us. What does the Creator, that God in the Bible that they talk about, killed a lot of children,
Mm-hmm.
innocent people.
Mm-hmm.
He commanded that they be killed.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
So as I began to look, I said, it's got to be something else. This can't be our God. So my question is, if one thing is wrong, ain't all of it wrong? If one thing is wrong in that Bible, isn't everything wrong?
I don't think so. For example, you're a parent, right? I don't know if she hung up. Did she hang up?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what I tell is this.
Okay, she's there. She's there. You're
yes,
a parent?
okay.
Vicky,
Yes.
she said
Yes, you're a parent. And you probably have made a mistake or two or three as a parent. Is that correct?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Yes. But that doesn't mean you're not a good mama. See, a thing has got to be flawed and still wonderful. See,
Dr. Black, doesn't that go against the script that God is perfect?
But see, part of the issue here is that perfection, we think perfection means without error. That's not what perfection means. Perfection means that one rides excellence. See, if you made a 98 on the exam, that's already excellent. Actually, you're already in perfection. Because see, if a person's not careful, we think perfection means there's no room to grow. That's not perfection. That's arrogance.
I mean, but it's God though, Dr. Black.
Yes.
Like, I'm struggling with my teeth. So it's God is already there. That's the goal.
See, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I think God grows.
Where's the evidence for that?
Because I think there are things in nature that God changes. I think there are things in nature that God revises. Woo! Karen Hunter. I think there are things in nature that God revises. God shifts things around in nature because it didn't quite work there the way I thought it would. And God moves it. There's floods because the river was, I had routed it to go that way, but I needed to come this way actually, right? There are all kinds of, nature changes all the time. That's the sign that God is in constant revision.
Even the evolution of man.
Of the evolution of human beings. That is absolutely correct. The reason God created an evolving thing is so that it could reach its excellence. God never makes it already perfect from the beginning because God's joy is watching a thing grow.
So you're saying when the seed is planted, it doesn't pop up with the full fruit.
That's right. That's right. And God made it that way. God does not want it to pop up with the full fruit. Because then if it did that, you would never know the excellence of the rain. You would never know that the rain and the soil must agree. You would never know that the sun can interrupt the conversation between the soil and the rain. You would never know that the wind actually participates. Oh, God. And see, if any one of them is off, the seed can distort the seeds growing. But here's what's deep too. Here's what's deep too. The earth can be faulty and the seeds still sprout. Because what God is, Karen Hunter, what God is also doing is showing you that there is enough in the seed by itself that the other circumstances cannot determine whether you grow or not. That's nothing but a metaphor for, listen, your mama could be flawed and you can still be the Christ.
Oh my God. Now, what do we do about Mary having this baby without consent? What do we do with? Do we throw that particular? What do we do with that? Because there's a lot of virgin births happening in different texts beyond the Bible, right. Beyond the Christian Bible.
That's right. That's right. And theologians have been wrestling with this for years, quite frankly. But the way what most folks have done is to say Mary was blessed because if God did it, it's got to be right? It's got to be a blessing. Oh my God. This is why there are some people who could say, well, slavery did black people well because it got us to America. It got us to Jesus, which is the craziest thing I've ever heard of in my life, of course, right? Insanity. But the thing I think we do with this is to come and understand that this whole notion of Mary conceiving a child, all of this, right? It's actually a metaphor. It's a metaphor. We're taking too much of this literally. It's a metaphor, right? And the metaphor is that literally God gave Mary something she didn't ask for, but that it would turn around and save her. That's likewise us. God gives us gifts that we didn't ask for. But if you walk with it, it'll change your life. See, I walk with it as a metaphor. And there are things God gives me all the time that's not my preference. But if I walk it out, right, I'll see the genius of God in making me have it.
All right, y'all sit with that.